It's once again time for the $1 million qualifier for the Clash Royale League this month. This month it's the April finals and we are trying to get to the top 32 players. The top 1k ladder players are able to participate in this type of work, and at the end the top 32 players are remaining and have a chance to qualify for the next top 8 stage. If we're able to go through all the top players in the entire world and qualify for the next stage with the top 32 best players in the world, this is what you're going to find out in today's video. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to use creator code Morten, this is your new name, and also let me know in the comments if you guys enjoy this type of content, if you guys want to see more of me competing against the best players in the world. I would say let's jump into that, and let's see if I was able to qualify for the next round. So guys, we're jumping into the first game here against Name of Devils, and also before we going into this game, kind of like play-by-play commentating, I kind of want to explain you the format, because some of you guys are new to Clash Royale League. This is completely fine. So it's basically a Swiss bracket, which kind of means all of the top 1k players from last season leaderboard go into the bracket. And we will play 10 rounds. If you win the first game, you're just gonna get wins or like opponents based on your wins. So, an example, you're currently like 1-1. You're gonna face people which are also at 1-1. You're like 8-0. You're gonna face someone who's also 8-0. So this is kind of the explanation there. At the end, you will do 10 games. And at the end, like the guys or like the players which are gonna get 10-0. By the way, Mohammed like got 10-0 as expected. Qualifies 9-1 players also qualified to 9 wins and 1 loss. 8-2 also always qualifies, and 7-3 you need to be a bit lucky with all of your tiebreaker. But yeah, so normally 8-2 is kind of you're aiming for. Also, I started really bad in this type of Swiss bracket. I really lost my first game already, so I was like 0-1, and I also lost my 5th game, so I was like 3-2, and 3-2 is absolutely horrible position. So I need to win all of my last games. My last 3 games, if I win them, I will qualify 100%. If I lose one of them, I will be out 1%. So a ton of things on the line, a ton of points on the line, because all of this stuff matters. Every single win can matter for the Clash Royale League World Finals qualification at the end of the year. So I'm just gonna go in here for my Westgate. Look at my deck, right? It's the dual format, so you can just use every single card once per deck, or like once per best of 5. So look at my deck, guys. This is a deck which you can also use in normal play. I mean, there's no ladder anymore. But yes, like Grand Challenges, the global tournament currently is up, and you can use this type of deck there, and you can have a ton of success. I would say, if you want to use this deck in the Royale tournament, in friendly battles, in Grand Challenges, I would suggest you to use the Poison instead of the arrows, and maybe the Barbarian Ball instead of the Snowball. Because the only reason I really use this deck in competitive play here, to save other cards. This is honestly really important. You want to save other cards for other decks, since it's the dual format. If you use the Poison once, you cannot use in any other deck. I like to use Minor Poison, especially against him. Minor Poison was one of my options, I think, or like a different Poison deck was one of my options. So you kind of want to save it. Also Fireball example, you kind of want to save it. So his deck is also really interesting, since if we think about the Spear Goblins, which got actually buffed, they're really good right now. They also like, the Goblin also got a small buff. It's not a huge one, but you kind of saw the Goblin Heart sometimes. So bad news for all of the casual players. Pros are using Goblin Heart again. But yeah, they're not broken, but they're viable. But Spear Goblins do really well in this type of matchup. I want to make sure I want to use them really low, because then the Barbarian isn't reached, not gonna reach them. And what is important in this type of matchups? Now my biggest disadvantage is he has the Goblin Heart. He has like the Phoenix, Zappies, a ton of cards which are kind of Fireball, Poison, baity, and I don't even have this kind of card, so it will be really hard for me to clean up his backup, to clean up his huts. So what is like, how do I play this matchup? I'm really like, honestly, I've never played this type of matchup before, because my deck is really new. His deck I didn't see before, but you guys will see me going in sometimes with graveyards when I even know he has Poison in hand. Why do I do this? I know, first of all, when your opponent's gonna poison your graveyard, you will still get most of the time like 1 or 2 graveyard skeletons hits, but also at the same time you will be able to force out Elixir, and this is important, because I know if he gets like a huge push, an absolutely massive push with his Spear Goblins out of the Goblin Heart, his Skelly King ability, his Phoenix and Zappi Spine, I won't be able to defend this. So always applying opposite lane pressure is important. Also splitting up my troops that I don't give from Poison away. As example, you guys are gonna see it here. I'm gonna use my ability on left, and I'm also gonna go now on the right side with the graveyard, because I know, okay, he's mostly gonna poison that. But look at this push on the left side, right? Imagine I wouldn't have graveyarded there and would have just tried to defend. That would have been so hard. So this is also about the timing, right? Sometimes you're just playing something in the opposite lane, even if you're knowing your opponent has a right count. This is what the best Hog Rider players are doing all the time. They're playing Hog Rider opposite lane, even they know their opponent has a Tornado and Cycle, because first of all you have a cheaper cycle with Hog also, but also they can't really spend their elixir then on offense. So this is just really great. So I'm using my spear gun for sure, not into the poison. Using my tombstone the opposite lane just to cycle. I also went with that. I can use my rascals here. Rascals on defense work really well. And I'm just gonna go in for the graveyard here. Just like a really cheap graveyard here, because I know I need to get damage, right? For sure it's also a bit desperate here, because now we have 30 seconds remaining, so I can be more aggressive than I used to be earlier. Just like going naked graveyard, because I know like he can't punish me in 30 seconds anymore. He can't overwhelm me in this type of time. So I'm gonna use my Phoenix here, making sure there. Also look at the rascals on the left side. I'm just gonna use the Skelly King. I think now you guys gonna see the prime example why I think this matchup isn't that easy. Look at all of his stuff on the ground, and this is what I was talking about. Just making sure that the opponent has to spend elixir on the opposite lane, that he can't support this big push. Because as you guys can see, if he gets like the Phoenix, if he gets the Skelly King, if he gets Zappies behind this type of push, I won't be able to defend this. So applying opposite lane pressure in this type of matchups, it's the key to win. Now we're 1-0 up, and now we're playing a really great drill deck here with the Inferno in there. He plays a Lava deck, so really great snipe from me and my cool coach Jules. Who's the GOAT, right? He's sniping me a lot. He was also like cheering me up after I had such a bad start, but I also knew Sandbox last season had like a similar start, and he was able to get top 6 in the entire world. So everything can happen. So our deck is really cool. Also, Goblin Gang. Why do we have Goblin Gang? Goblin Gang is insane after the buff, the Spear Golems thing. Like Spear Golems, like I think nobody really talks about it. I don't know, like I didn't watch any other YouTubers. Are they also talk about Spear Golems? Bro, they are busted. Use Spear Goblins, guys. So we're just gonna use our Goblin Gang here at the bridge, just applying some pressure, and he goes in, I guess, for a Tombstone. And how do we win this matchup? It's pretty simple. You always want to apply aggression. You never want to overcommit. So even if this matchup on paper seems good, I still think it's worth it to show you guys how to kind of win this matchup. Because I know also from like experience from like not that great players, or like mid-player players, better to say, they're mostly struggling against beatdown decks and don't know how to pressure the opponents in the right ways. So if you play this matchup with full game defense, you might just lose it. Or if you overcommit once. These are kind of the only two ways how you lose this one. If you like overcommit your opponents, like having a Lava on Flying Machine, you might be fireballing turn, your opponent goes in for minor arrows or something. This can be struggle. Or which is also a bit annoying, are like minor baby dragon pushes. This can also be the only really annoying thing, since you don't really have anything like a Mega Minion or a Phoenix. So I'm just gonna go aggressive here. As you guys can see here, he always needs to commit something, and this is what I want to do. Even if I know I have like, an example, more damage on the other lane, never pushing same lane against beatdown decks. This is like the main tip you guys want to learn from against beatdown decks. Beatdown decks are strong when you like against psychic decks, when you're like playing into the same lane, because your opponent is able to defend, is going in for the golem, and you push same lane, your opponent is able to build up his golem push. But when you're pushing opposite lane, he won't be able to do this. So I'm just gonna go here once again with my drill. I'm using my wall breakers opposite lane just for 2 licks. He's forcing out arrows, and I know, okay, he most likely is gonna set up a Lava on soon, so I'm just gonna go Spear Golems here, and he will let it go. And I absolutely know, okay, he would just drop his Lava now. So I'm already going in for a Fire Spirit here first. And I guess I'm just gonna go for Bomber here, but I'm now also immediately gonna go drill left side, not right side. Why do I have, like, even if I have an advantage there? Because I know he will use his Lava and normally on the weaker tower to kind of build a counter push out of that. So I'm using my Inferno here because I knew he didn't have a reset. And as I said, it's a really easy matchup for me. I should 100% win this one if it's like on pro level, but I still think not everybody of you is a pro, maybe. That's like really worth it to show. So as you guys can see, I know he's like kind of playing more on the right side, so I'm really trying to apply pressure on the opposite lane. So I'm just gonna use my Bomber here. Kind of lucky the Bomber still stay alive, but look at my Valkyrie there, killing everything up. I'm just gonna go in here for my drill. I'm just gonna use my Fire Spirit here. Fire Spirit is absolutely insane, using a really great wall break, because I know even if he like the Flying Machine kills the one wall breaker, the one wall breaker would still connect to a tower. So I'm just gonna go for a Bomber here in the back. I know he can't Lava at the bridge because I just have Inferno Tower. But I really want to go Goblin Gang on the left side and now Drill, because I always know when he's using a 4 elixir card, it will always be tough for him to defend. So he's going to use like our Miner. I'm just going to go in here for my Goblin Gang. Look at his Spear Golems once again chipping away. And I think in this type of situation, I just want to Firebolt. I could have also Inferno Tower high, but I felt like, okay, Firebolt is just a safer play. And now I need to be a bit careful. I'm honest, I need to be a bit careful. Look at this. But I think this defense is absolutely insane. I'm just going to go for Fire Spirit here. And now I'm just gonna go in here for my Goblin Gang high. Perfect Goblin Gang. I know he needs to arrow on defense, and right now I know the game is over. I can now just go in for Drill Fireball, and with this win, guys, by the way, I'm 7-2. So the last game will decide everything. If I'm going to go qualify for the top 32 stage and make a big step for the Clash Royale League World Finals, or if I will miss out the top 32 qualifiers. Now guys, we're going to the final game with this Turin. I don't exactly know who this guy is, but for sure he needs to be really good. And sometimes you're for sure you're facing players like Asef, Molite, Lucas X Gamer, Mugi, all of these great insane players. But at the end also, they're like sometimes also players for sure, like if you talk about top 32, they're also like surprise players, newcomers there, which you don't even know. But Turin for sure, if you're like going into this type of stage, if you're like able to go like 7 and 2 at this point against the best players in the world, you need to be a really good player. So we're playing against Turin here. I decided to play this RG1 variation. RG still remains really strong. We have the Monk in there. I just feel like Monk works the best in type of Hawk deck and also in, for sure, Royal Giant. The only real disadvantage, or like Monk gets a ton of volume in this type of matchup, so the problem is kinda that we don't really have too much, as you guys can see, against Drill. So Drill will be absolutely be annoying. The good thing about the offense is he can't really defend Monk Musketeer really well, but at the same time, if he's not using his Musketeer in a bad way and is using it really comfortably, so just if he knows, okay, I don't have a Monk on the map, we're gonna be struggling a lot against it, because also Bomb Tor plus Mighty Miner plus like really great timed Ice Spirit can do such a great job against us. So we like the matchup on paper looks not really too great, I would say, because if he's applying well enough pressure, we're not able to get an RG Monk push, and we don't really have too much against Drill, right? Look, as you guys can see, like if he goes in for Drill, for sure I need to go in for Monk, but sometimes like if you're like on a way, like on a wrong side of 2 red, 2 blue, the Monk, the Drill will always get one shot. So I'm gonna go there. His Goblins, fortunately for us, got defended there with the Monk, but I don't go for RG, right? Because he would have just gone for like for Bomb Toad and for Mighty Miner, but we're gonna go for the ability because I just thought, okay, might be worth it. And I guess right now it's just time for me to go in for a really easy Fisherman. What he does really well is he's kind of always baiting on Barbarian, but I also don't have Ghost, right? If a Ghost, the matchup would have been completely different. But yeah, it's tough. So I need to go once again for Phoenix here, and you guys gonna see I will take a ton of damage here because it's just really hard for me to stop this, and now we're 800 damage behind, but I know like I can still come back this. You always need to believe in yourself. This is just the most important thing, and I have a deck which for sure like you can just overwhelm the opponent with one huge push. So you're gonna see me now setting up the first push, using my RG in the back, now using my Monk. Why do I go Monk on the right side? Really obviously for the free card cycle, cycling as much as I can and trying to get another RG. So I want to get an RG on the left, just like with the lightning now on top of all of the stuff, and then get another RG on the right. This is at least the play. So I'm just gonna go in here for that, and now it's gonna see what my plan is. Now I'm gonna use my another RG here. So really picture perfect offense on the right side, on the left side, and now I'm just gonna use my Mother Witch here. Mother Witch gets a ton of work done, and now we're in a damage lead just because of the one Monk on the right side doing absolutely insane push, because of the Monk, he wasn't able to defend the left side as good as he wanted, because he always was like kind of scared of the Monk there. So I'm just gonna use my Phoenix here in the back. Okay, I think I'm just gonna take the lightning here because I don't really want to mess around there, and also now look at this. I kill everything, and now it's in really easy defense. So I need to be careful here a bit. The one goblin is always get some chip damage. And now we kind of split up damage. He's just gonna go just on one side. And the Fisherman gets a connection here. Fisherman does a really good job here. I just hope the axe survives, but of course that would have been a bit too broken. I'm just gonna set up here once again my Phoenix on the right side and just like making sure, what is my play now? I'm gonna go for Fisherman on the right, on the left to pull away the Mighty Mine, and now I'm just gonna use here on the right side my Monk in front, because I know he still needs to defend the Phoenix, and I can just go on basically for lightning here. Lightning is absolutely insane. We're doing such a great job, and we are once again up on damage and also a bit up on elixir, not too much, but I'm just gonna use the Phoenix here because I was kind of expecting him to do that. I'm just gonna use this really good defense, I would say. And I think right now I'm just gonna use once again a Monk. This time he fails the fireball, and I kind of know, okay, how is he supposed to stop this big of a push now? Because I can just go for the lightning here. Goblins are on the tower. I mean, hoggies, pigs are on the tower. And we can just gonna respond here with another Mother Witch. And we're looking so great. And we wanna win this one. And now we're one game away from one of the biggest comebacks in CL history. Going after 0-1, after 2-3, winning 3-2, winning 5 games in a row and going to the next stage. So now it's gonna be time for a masterclass with Minor Poison. We love Minor Poison, I'm known for that. I'm feeling comfortable, this is my go-to deck when it's close, when it's important. And now we're gonna see like a matchup, which is, I think, interesting to say the least. So, I mean, he's like I think he's using the same deck as I did, that I don't have a drill, I have a miner instead, which is for sure for him a bit easier to defend. And it can be really hard for him, like for me to stop his Mother Witch, right? If he goes like Mother Witch E-Spirit, Mother Witch Rebellion on top of my guards, he will get a ton of piggies. I can kind of get overwhelmed there. This is kind of the problem, I think. Also, yeah, since I don't have a fireball, right, I just have a poison. But you guys want to see like the matchup maybe on paper, you would argue it's maybe bad for me, but if I play this perfect, there's no way he's gonna win this. But maybe you guys also think that, right? Like it depends kind of on which threshold level you're kind of thinking, it's on which level you are. So I'm just gonna use my miner here to clean that up. I have an Ice Spirit for sure, which is always great. Ice Spirit also one of the best cards in the whole game, so might deserve a nerf, but I just like Ice Spirit, so I'm not gonna tell Super Cell nerf this card now, but like honestly, Ice Spirit needs a small nerf. So I kind of want to make sure guards, I just really play them when I know like, okay, Mother Witch isn't there and getting a ton of value, because if he's like kind of overwhelming with a Monk plus RG push, it can be really hard for me to defend. But I'm just going to go for the miner here in the back, really great miner. And I think right now I'm just going to also go in here for an Ice Spirit here on opposite lane, really good Ice Spirit. And I think right now, do I go Mortar here? I think I'm just going to go in for my Musketeer to snipe, using my build here. And I know, okay, he needs to still defend both sides, right? He goes most likely for a Barbarian Ball here, and our Mighty Miner gets some chip damage, even just like 300 damage. It's still a lot for like this type of matchup, because I know if I get early damage, if I get the early ground control, the early damage control in this type of matchups, I'm not forced to be aggressive in triple, where he's like able to stack up his RGs. So really annoying will be the Phoenix kind of this type of matchup. I need to be careful about that, because if he gets like a Phoenix Monk push, it can be annoying. But we do going for the log here, great log, and I think I'm just gonna go use my Musketeer here. So Musketeer gets a ton of value. I think he just decides to go in for this, and I think I'm just gonna go in once again for my Mighty. Oh, do I a Mortar or Mighty Miner? I think I just go Mortar here, and I think a Mortar is really nice. Just getting like some ground control there once again, and also if I go in here for my Mighty Miner, the Monk will just push back. So I don't really need, like, I don't really see a reason doing that. So I'm just gonna go in here for my Mighty Miner. Mighty Miner is absolutely great here, also because his Monk is out of cycle. I'm just going to use my guards here, and I think now I'm just going to use a pre-miner here on top of the Mother Witch, because I knew this is kind of situation when I could lose the game. When he's like kind of making sure that he gets like piggies on the right side and need to overcommand there, and then maybe goes into cycle another RG. So what I'm going to do right now is just going to go for Musketeers, since I knew he could lightning that. And now it's kind of time for me to go in for an aggressive mod. I have a Musketeer on the map, I know he could go for that, but also opposite lane pressure, this is important. Using my miner now. Really good miner, getting like 2 ships. For sure, it's not as much as as it used to be. So my cutout miner's dead. I'm really sad about that, but he's still viable in a way for the chip damage. But it's not as big as it used to be anymore. Like, you know, you can sometimes let a miner connect, especially the speed on players do that. But I think I'm just gonna go in for another mortar here. I just want to keep up the pressure. He needs to use an E-Spirit there. He needs to use this. I think I'm just gonna go miner poisoning honestly here, because I just felt like, okay, what is he supposed to do, right? He still needs to defend both lanes, so I need to go miner here. This was a really perfect ability time, because of the ability timing at the same time when he dropped the Phoenix, we got so much damage, and also he had to use so much elixir. So I'm just gonna go once again, like, look at my Musketeer though. We're doing a great job, just like don't allow him to get the big push. And this is kind of what I was saying also about the last matchup when we played like a different matchup. I mean like a similar matchup with like some of the different cards, but still was like kind of a control deck with the Musketeer, the Mighty Miner against the Royal Giant deck. Even the win condition was a bit different. It's kind of like he only really wins this game if he gets like a really big push. So I'm just gonna go poisoning here. Poison us really well against it. I don't really want to mess around. I don't go poison on top of the Phoenix. Just play safe, because I know I can just go now for my guards here. I know that one guard will get pulled before the Mighty Miner gets pulled, and I'm just gonna go in for another mine here. This time I'm switching lanes, because I know I will get most likely decent poison there. Now I'm just gonna use my build here, and look at the Mortar on defense. Just like the Mortar doing really good job on defense, not just distracting the Royal Giants, also making sure to chip away on the monks, chipping away on the fishermans, and this is just really important. So this time I'm just gonna go for easy poison here, using now my Musketeer, and I'm just gonna go for the lock here. Really great defense. He decides to go lightning the Musketeer. My mortar stays alive, and I'm just gonna go once again for my mighty miner in the back, and you know it's over, and I'm able to go through the next stage and go qualify once again after last month also for the top 32. And also I'm currently in the point leaderboard, which is important for the qualification for the Clash Royale League. The top 7 players from points and 7 players with golden tickets which are winning this kind of events will go to the World Finals. I'm currently first based on points, which is absolutely insane. So Mohammed Light got the ticket, I'm first on points. So far we're looking really great for the Clash Royale League World Finals qualification, which would be my 5th World Finals in a row. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to use code Mountain in the shop, and I would say I'm out. Thanks for watching, I love you guys, goodbye.